So if your dog could give you life advice, what would it be?
Well, most dogs would say that it is very important to take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of them.
Okay.
So their biggest life advice to give their humans is to make sure that you're taking time for yourself.
Yeah.
Staying healthy.
Take better care of you so you can take good care of me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
And I mean, they're a big part of our family, right? So, but they also realize that there's a lot of other human companions that are included in that family as well. So if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of them. You can't take care of the rest of your family. And we're not just talking physical, we're talking mental too. So if you don't have if you're not mentally healthy, you're not physically healthy, you're not able to partake in what life offers you, and they want you to do that.
And the dogs can pick up on that?
Oh gosh, absolutely.
You think?
Oh yeah.
How about cats?
Not
as much.
Not as
it's
much.
Going to be it's a different animal.
They are. They're a breed of their own.
Yeah.
They tend to. They're either like the dog mentality and whatever, or they're like total opposite, and they're just like, yeah, I want you when I want you. Otherwise, I don't care if you exist.
Depends on the cat.
Yeah,
depends
absolutely.
on the cat.
Yep.
How about a lion?
I don't know. I'll be honest with that. I've never even thought about it. I've never tried talking with one. So.
I'm sure I'll bring this up. I'm not trying to like peacock or name drop here, but have you ever heard? He's a quite famous philosopher, Wittgenstein. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
So he's got a saying. I promise it's germane. He has a saying that if a lion could speak, we would not understand him.
Oh.
Right. And the reason he says that is because the mind of the species is so different that their language would inherently have to be different. Do you have any thoughts on that, or that's pretty much what you would expect? Because different animals are different, right?
Well, depends on the person.
Yeah.
For me, they're not. I actually sound like I'm talking to myself.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right. Great. No, that's great. I think that's the lead in. So welcome to the show where we explore the who, what, where, how, and why of the extraordinary people who define our north of normal metro. I'm Conrad Fargo, and this is the Fargo Five. Today we have Nikki, and then I didn't ask, is it Ceroll? Nikki Ceroll, an animal communicator with vibrant animals.
Yep.
Hello, Nikki.
Hi, thank you.
Why don't you just take 30, 60 seconds here, introduce yourself to the audience, tell them who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay, well, as you said, I'm Nikki Ceroll. I am an animal communicator and Reiki practitioner. I am a mom of 3, a wife, and we live on a rural farm in Barney, North Dakota with about 30 head of cows and our 2 ducks.
Yeah, Barney, North Dakota. Okay, so you're west of Breckwap. I don't know why I was picturing you. I do a lot of work out in Minnesota side. I'm partnered with the SBA in Minnesota. So nice. For whatever reason, I was thinking out towards Barnesville, out that way. But no, you're the other way. You're out, good hours.
Straight south of here.
Yeah. I think I looked at a house there actually recently. I can picture that. But it's, Fargo itself is a heck of a metro. And then we do have a lot of very rural towns spattered throughout. You're an hour and a half out. But when you need Costco, it's a run up to town, you said. This is where you come to. How often would you say you come into Fargo?
Give and take about a month, 6 weeks.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you're not in and out every other day.
No. But it's close enough that I can be if I needed to. If I'm meeting with a client, that's not a problem either. You know, so
frequently enough. Yeah. So being out in that rural town and being a Reiki practitioner, I think there's a lot of Reiki practitioners. I think that's probably what we'd consider maybe a more saturated market. There's a lot of them out there, I feel.
For the human side, absolutely.
Okay.
I strictly work with animals only.
Reiki with animals only.
Yeah.
So, I would love to have painted the picture. What's happened to our live stream?
This has ended.
What? Why would it do that?
I have no idea.
What? Why don't you? I would like you to paint the picture. I want to capture your face and the reactions and all that stuff. So I want to get the video going. I'm going to come around real quick and get that going. We'll take a small break and then hit to that. All right, live radio here. We had a technical difficulty. It says live now there, right?
It does. Yes.
Okay, so what I want you to do is paint for me the picture of what it's like when you do what you do. Go ahead.
Well, being that I am rural North Dakota, I have worked with customers and clients from all over. I've done Florida, I've done Oklahoma, along the East Coast, down south and stuff, but a lot of Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota people. So being that I do it all over, is I do most of my work actually virtually over distance.
Oh, wow.
On the phone, I'll call you or I'll message you after, whatever you prefer.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not very often that I actually get to meet them, quote unquote, in person.
Yeah.
So it's really nice when I do get to, because then I can actually finally put like a picture to the name and the personality and stuff versus what my mind sees.
When I was picturing it as being, at least regional, I was going to say that the town you're in probably doesn't have a ton of customers. I mean, have you ever done anything in the actual town you're living in, or you're almost always traveling to do the work?
No, actually, I have not done any in my actual town that I'm aware of. I've done like Wahpeton. I've done stuff here in Fargo.
Yeah.
I do take part in some vendor events, like holistic events.
Sure.
And there's one big one that comes in the fall and the spring here that I've done. And I'll be there again here and for her fall one. And so I get to see those people in person, and then sometimes they have their pets. Sometimes they just show me a picture. So I use their picture to connect with them so that I can do the work that I need to with them. And then their name also. So you need to show me a picture or send me a picture and then tell me what their name is. And then I just go from there.
What's the scale that you're currently? I mean, how long have you been doing this for?
About 5 years.
5 years.
So not terribly long.
Yeah, but that's a good amount of time where you've got your feet under you and you know what you're doing by now. And so most of them are being done remotely then?
Yes.
Or,
I would say 95% of my stuff is remote.
And so you must spend... I always find it interesting to kind of break into the business model, because everybody's got different businesses, and how much time do you spend doing this, that, or the other? Yep. I'm famous for explaining, like, I do real estate, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties. I got to say the whole thing every time I mention, drop that. But, like, I track my time, and I'm well aware that I spend at least half my time speculating, networking, trying to find people, meet people, at least that much. And I think most people think I spend all my time opening doors or doing this, that, or the other. It's actually not the majority of the time that I spend in that business. And that's just the way real estate is structured, because it is like Reiki, it is very saturated. Now, I think with a business like yours, maybe not so much an issue of saturation as much as supply and demand.
It's so new too, and it's like just different. I shouldn't say new, it's just different. So it's like, you're full of it. Anybody can tell me what my dog's saying by looking at them. I know what they're saying. So you get a lot of that, like, I don't know, this just seems just too good to be true, or just so unique and different that it's scary. And they're just like, nope, I want nothing to do with it. So yeah, it does.
You spend a lot of your time overcoming objections.
I do. And a lot of people will be like, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you up front. Like, I think this is like bullshit, right? So pardon my language.
Whoa.
Sorry.
We're on the radio.
Sorry.
That's strike 1 and 2. Try to watch out on that.
So a lot of them just like find that just, I don't know, it's out of their normal realm, right?
Yeah.
So for them to feel comfortable with it, you have to experience it, honestly, for you to be like, oh, I get it. I believe you. And
would have been great if we brought an animal into the studio. That would have been fun.
Yeah. And for me to help somebody overcome that too, that is really like, oh, I'm just really, really questioning this. I'm having some issues with it. I describe how their pet comes to me and greets me, and like I'm like, oh my gosh, they just like rolled their eyes and looked at me like, oh, okay, fine, I'll talk to you. Or they'll like, oh my gosh, you're here, you're in my presence. I want you, like, come scratch my belly, and I'll describe how they greeted me. Or if they show me pictures or anything like that, I'll describe all that. And
that has to work so differently when it's remote, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what would be the mix of remote versus in person? Would you say? Like is it 50-50? Is it mostly you're doing them in person? Sounds like mostly you're doing them remote.
Remote. So by explaining to them how they greeted me, since I'm not physically in their presence, so that they can't see how their animal's reacting to me.
Yeah.
Then it really helps them to be like, oh my gosh, you are like, that's my dog through, or that's my horse, or that's my cat, or, so it really helps ease them into it as well when I can describe those first couple minutes of our initial conversation.
Yeah. And so, again, back to the business model itself, obviously you're spending a lot of time, I guess, just up front, even overcoming those objections. Mm-hmm. How are you meeting people? How are you meeting people? Because to overcome the objection, first you got to get face to face or somehow connected. How are people even finding you?
So at this point, a lot of it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
I have some family that are very involved in the animal world, with especially horses.
And tell me more about that. Tell me more about that.
So I grew up with horses, and my sister's over in Minnesota by the cities, and so she has a very large equine network just because of what she does and her what she likes to do for riding and stuff like that. So she just has a really big networking group over there. And then my parents also still have them, and they're down in Oklahoma, actually. They kind of have their own little group down there, network down there. So that's kind of how I actually got started, was just friends and family that are like, I've experienced it. I can see what she can do. And like, you need to just talk to her. And then it just kind of slowly filters out.
That is the next part of the show, which is how in the world did you get started doing this kind of thing? But is it still mostly that equine network and then word of mouth spreading from there? Is there other things that you're currently engaged in to do other networking and outreach opportunities? You said there's a couple big shows every year. Tell me more about that.
So I do have a Facebook page. It's just Vibrant Animals with Nikki on Facebook. So I do like to share on that. I highly encourage my people that are in my group to share any stories and things that they've experienced with me as well. And then they just share with their friends and family, just word of mouth that way. But otherwise, I do the SOS vendor events.
Yeah, and what's that? Now tell me about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain freeze here on what it's called.
And I call it Live Brain. That's why, Nikki, I write your name down and then have it on an email that's open on the page. Because otherwise, because I've only met you, this is the first time we ever met, which it was Jesse Fike who introduced us, right?
Yes.
And Jesse, how I've known and we were talking before the show, 30 years. I've known Jesse for it's weird how quickly you can start saying things like that.
Right.
You get really really fast. But you how did you meet Jesse?
It was through an event up here in Fargo.
Yeah.
Not through my animal
events.
work.
Oh,
it was through
event.
something else, and I just happened to meet her, and we started visiting and talking.
What event was that?
I couldn't tell you at this point. It's probably been 6+ years now.
Yeah. But so you really do. You get out.
Yeah.
And you would think somebody with 3 kids living in rural North Dakota might not leave the house too much. It sounds like
I don't, except for stuff like this.
Okay, yeah. Well, and how often? That's got to be a big part of your life, right? So you not just the SOS event, but you're also going out to meet Jesse. Was it maybe like a craft event of some kind? Do you also craft or
no?
Okay,
No,
you were going there maybe to purchase.
I was gonna say I think they were a vendor at that group, and we were just talking. And then,
It's amazing, and I, for the listeners, and I like to paint the picture because a lot of people was it last week's guest was Hansen Vanilla, and he makes and sells his own vanilla, and he goes through the vendor shows, and he wanted to just kind of pass by it, and I was like, well, no, hold on, because I think people don't realize that there's this whole ecosystem, this whole world of vendor shows that are based on
anything.
Themes. And so you go. The one that's big, you said, is the SOS.
Yep, it's a holistic spiritual related vendor event. Like I said, I can't remember what they exactly stand for at this moment in time. But she comes every spring and every fall. It is November 8th, Saturday, November 8th, and it's at the Ramada on 13th there.
And what's attendance like? Like, how many people are you talking in the...
For me or for in general?
In the event itself.
Oh.
And it's got to be, because I'm trying to picture,
It's quite a few, it's a couple hundred that come through.
Okay, well, that's not, so, because I'm comparing it to the vendor fair that I often go to is like the Pride of North Dakota event.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever been there as a
customer.
And that's usually, I mean, it's dense. You walk in there and it's people, it's wall to wall, it's all the vendors, and then you get to meet all these interesting business people who are all Pride of North Dakota.
Yep.
And that's one. And that's more, do you have a thing that you make in North Dakota? And that's quite a filter, right? Like either you have a product, either you can say, "Yep, here's my thing. Here, buy it from me. It's made in North Dakota," or you don't. The holistic spiritual fairs. Mm-hmm. That one's got to be kind of an interesting group of.
It definitely brings in. It's a unique group.
Yeah,
but it's also like an amazing group to witness and to see.
Yeah, tell me.
I don't know. Everybody from all different walks of life are coming through. They got stuff for. They have the Reiki. They have the massage. They have card readers. They have crystal people there. They like anything that you are looking for spiritually related and healers. Stuff like that. They have them. So it was really cool that I found them, and I had asked them, like, "Do you have space for me?" And she's like, absolutely. We have not had somebody like you for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
And so
there's others. There are others like you.
There is, yeah.
But they blow in and blow out. I mean, I am trying to. I guess what I'm trying to get my hands around is the filtration process that's involved in something like that, because you said it yourself. It's very easy for anybody to just say, "Yep, I do this.
Yeah.
I'm connected to that."
Yep.
And you spend a lot of time overcoming the objections. In a setting like that, is it much of the same where you're spending a lot of time trying to prove yourself?
Nope.
Or
nope. Something like that is more that they're here for a reason.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other vendors also have it set up that you have a certain time frame. So you can ask me questions if I'm free before we start, but once you get started, like your time's ticking. So they come with a purpose. It's like, okay, this is what I need you to ask or work on with them, whatever it is. And then, like, that's it, right? So then you're done. A lot of the objection isn't there because they've already stood there and watched you work with others or they've read up on you before.
Because you have like a booth.
Yeah.
Right? When you go there and you're like, so to paint the picture, if anybody's never been, these are large convention centers or hotels, things like that. You're walking into a ballroom,
right? And
everybody's got like a 3x5 table in front of them, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's like a 6x10 or whatever.
Sure.
Like not the 8-foot tables, but usually the 6 foot, like those ones. Yeah.
And you put like a cloth over it.
Yep.
And you put your merch.
Yep.
And you stand there, and then there's just like a line of people to come.
For me, I have a sign-up sheet, so you can sign up. Put whenever it works out for you to come for during the event for that time slot, and then you show up a couple minutes before your time slot, and we start.
Yeah.
So it kind of just depends on what the vendor is offering. So for me, like I said, I have that sign up sheet, so you can stand there and you can watch. Absolutely, it doesn't bother me. I tend to zone out everything else that's around me.
Yeah,
and
you're
just
focused
like
on
focus
doing the
on
work.
who I'm working with and who's sitting in front of me. So I don't really usually notice that. So it's nice to have another person with me a lot of times, because then they can help them if they have questions or maybe they are a little like, I don't know, explain this to me. So it's, that's how it works for me, I guess, is that I have the sign up sheet. So I don't have a ton of people just hovering around. They just come in at their time.
And tell me more like what it's like with the people who are there. Again, I think it's kind of an interesting angle to consider. It's a very interestingly self-selected group of people. Like a lot of them, that what's the old saying, like you want your mind open but not so open your brain falls out kind of a thing, right? And these are definitely people skewing maybe too far on the open-minded spectrum. It almost seems to me it would be rife for abuse of some kind, to charlatans, hucksters. Do you find you're often getting reverse prospected or anything along those lines, or is it really just a very safe and welcoming kind of an environment? I was going to say, for
me, it's a very safe and welcoming community and the environment. But I also, and the gal that puts it on does a really good job at setting that intention as well.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of that negative, it's just not inviting energy for those kind of people, so they just don't want to come.
Well, did she interview you right up front and torture test you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So she kind of got the vibes. So she's maybe a communicator. She's
been doing these events for years, so she knows
she'll sniff you out real quick and knows who to include and not include.
Yep, absolutely.
And so is that the SOS there? Is that the big event for you, or are there other events?
Yes, that's all I do as of right now, being that I am a mom. I am actually a stay-at-home mom. I mean, they're in school right now, but out and farmer wife and and all that stuff. So it's like I have availability, but I don't have a ton of availability.
Yeah, there's a ceiling on how much time you're willing to put in. Okay, and so now, I think I kind of get the picture. It's part-time and by design because you only got so much time.
Right.
But you stay busy, and it's an interesting, fascinating time where you probably spend most of your time overcoming objections. Right. And then when you're lucky enough, you get to do what you actually love, which is to communicate and deal with the animals.
Right. Yep.
And so what is it? Tell me more about when we do the session. Like, what is that? How long is the session? What does that feel like? Yep. What are the owners involved? What kind of questions are you asking, and what kind of answers are you getting?
Yeah, absolutely. So, being that I am home, I don't work outside the home. And my kids are in school, especially now.
Yeah.
During the school day, I have a lot more flexibility to be able to have more sessions and work with clients. I do have some that are repeats that we are working on multiple things or steps getting through that. So it is, quite a few times that we'll be meeting. They are on the phone, so I will actually call you and talk to you. So you're talking to me the whole time. You can ask anything.
So we're on the phone, or is it a Zoom, or do you
generally the phone?
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I can do Zoom. It's just I'm not technically savvy.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of issues with it.
Oh wow. Okay.
But so
I was picturing this with like a whole Zoom and like the circle influencer light and like a whole get up where but
nothing fancy here.
No, this is just on your cell phone. Okay.
Yep.
And you probably put on a headset, or you just holding the phone up? I'm trying to paint the picture.
I just have it on speaker, so it's just sitting in front of me on speaker.
And do you have an office dedicated to this, or you're just kind of throughout the house?
Small. Our house is too small.
Of course.
So,
I'm just trying to visually picture it in my mind. So you're in rural North Dakota at home taking phone calls.
Yeah.
And so they answer and hello, and you.
Yeah. And then I have to be in a comfortable position myself because I physically take on whatever the animal is presenting.
Okay.
So if we are especially working on an animal that is in pain or has some major issues going on, that I start to take it on in my own body. So if they're hiding it, I can be like, hey, we knew about this. However, I am noticing XYZ in you. We need to address this so we can fix that, right?
Wow.
So having that ability, first of all, I have to be comfortable and know what's going on in my own body first.
Okay.
Because sometimes I have to be like, wait, is this my headache or is this yours? Because I don't think I had it before.
Hard to separate them.
Yeah. So
do you ever have to cut the call short because you're like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it today? Or
no, but I do give them that opportunity to be like, I ask every single animal before I start. I introduce myself. This is why I'm here. Are you open to visiting with me today? Are you open to working with me, receiving today? And if they tell me no, I have to honor that. And I will tell the human the same thing. Like, oh, they're saying no today. We can try again in a week.
Wow.
99% of the time they say, I'm fine. Or they might go, I don't know about this, but we'll try it. And then usually like within 5 minutes, they're like, oh, okay. Like some of them are physically thinking that this is going to cause more pain to them, depending on what's going on with them.
The animal is thinking that? Yeah.
So they're not super open to it because they're like, if you're causing me more pain and more problems, why do I want to work with you? But once they realize that that's not what I'm there for, I am there to find out how we can help you with your pain, to find out exactly where it is. Maybe it's in a different area than what we're seeing. And I can tell you, and you showing me, telling me, letting me feel it, I can therefore tell your human, who therefore can address it how they need to.
Would you consider this like a psychic ability, or why use the term communicator as opposed to like psychic? Like, what would there be a distinction there, or is it just same words for the same phenomenon? Or
I've never thought of it. I'll be honest with you. I've never thought of it.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I guess they're kind of the same. Yeah.
It's very similar, but you're more comfortable, and you've always just thought of it as communication.
Yep. And I do not hear any animal. Just if I walk by somebody, I do not hear it.
Yeah.
I have to physically tune into them.
Yeah,
so that's my separation also.
So when you're walking by, it's not like the dogs are talking to you or anything like that.
I mean, some of them might be like really reaching out and there's a reason, but majority of the times it's not. I have to physically tune into them and look at you, pay attention to you, say your name, whether it's mentally or out loud. Like I have to say your name and say, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm here, for it to come in. So that's a little bit different than I know some people, because I shut mine off. I can't carry it all day everywhere. I don't have the energy for that.
Yeah. So. Well, and I've said, some people say that they're empaths, right?
You're
like
right.
I can feel what other people feel.
Yep.
And I've always, and sometimes you watch superhero movies where the superpower is the empath. And I've always said, like, if you truly had full on all the time, non-selective empathic ability to feel everybody, you'd probably turn pretty cold pretty fast.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because we all, like, that's Buddhism, baby. Like, we're all suffering.
Right.
Like, everybody's suffering, right? And so if you were really attuned to everyone's suffering, it would probably not make you a kind and loving person. It would probably make you pretty cold, right? So it's a good thing you can turn it on and off.
Yep. So I'm empathic as well, but I have since learned that how to protect myself and shut that off so that I am not being drained all the time.
Yeah.
And I've taught my kids the same thing because they're the same.
Yes. No, and I feel much the same way about myself. People will often tell me that I'm the nicest jerk they've ever met.
Right.
And I think the reason for that is because, like, well, yeah, I'm feeling what you're feeling, and I'm weighing it against everybody else's problems and my own, right? And so, yeah, I think empathy can be a dual-edged sword in that way.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
So what I would like now to kind of transition to, and I told you it goes fast. Can you believe it's already almost 40 after?
No. Wow.
Yeah, we've got maybe another 15 minutes left.
Okay.
So I want to dive into how you started doing something like this. Like,
absolutely.
Like, where was the start? When was the idea in your mind? And we will move the onion, we'll unpeel it and go backwards. But I want to paint, I want to make sure, you present yourself, you say to yourself, you come to me today and you say, I'm Nikki Ceroll.
Yep.
I'm Nikki Ceroll, animal communicator with Vibrant Animals. Like, you say, that's who I am. When did that identity begin? Like, when was the moment you conceived of, like, this is something I can do for money? Like, for money, because you don't do it for free, right?
No, I do not do it for free.
Right? And so when was the very first time when you were like, I'm gonna start charging to do this. I'm gonna make this into a business. When did that happen?
I would say about 4 years ago is when I came up with the name, or decided on a name, and presented it to the social media world and put it on Facebook and stuff, and started doing Google reviews, stuff like that.
And where did the idea to do that come from? So, again, I like to paint the picture of were you in your house? Were you out at an event? You were at a vendor show? Or where was it? Just something that slowly built night after night?
Just kind of, I'll take you back a little bit. So what got me started in general with it was I got very sick 5-6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And that started my personal spiritual
5-6
journey.
years ago. So was this before or after COVID? Maybe this was with COVID.
It would have been, we were like...
Maybe you got sick with COVID.
It was not during the main huge thing of COVID. It was like towards the end of it. So like we weren't in full masks all the time anymore, stuff like that. So it was
maybe
past
that's why
that part.
That's how you got sick.
But I got very sick, and that started my spiritual journey. And my youngest was going into school, and I was like, my identity has been a stay-at-home mom for the last, at that point, 6 years.
Yeah, because you had, and I don't know if we touched this, you have 3 kids.
Yep.
So at that time, your youngest was turning 5, and so then you had a 7 and a 9-year-old. So something along those lines.
Yeah.
It was just time to. I will never remember a person's name, but if you tell me the ages of your kids, I'll remember the stagger. Oh no, I won't even remember the ages. I'll remember the stagger between them. I don't know how my brain works. Yep. But anyway. Yeah. So you've got a 5, 7, and 9-year-old. You've been dealing with diapers and kids, and you're in the thick of it for the last 9 years. You're finally free.
Yep.
And kid goes to school, and you get sick.
And then I was like, what am I supposed to do with my life?
Yeah.
And being that we have...
Existential crisis.
Yep. And being that we have the farm, and I mean, we don't have a ton of cows, but we have the cows, and my husband's job is pretty demanding, depending on what time of the year it is.
Yeah.
So he's like, I like having you home to be able to check the cows, especially during calving. And whatever else, and he's like, and then if the kids are sick, or if they have an activity at school, then I can partake in all that still.
And I want to paint the picture too of what it's like being married to a farmer. Did you know you were going to marry a farmer when you were a little girl?
He's actually not a farmer.
Okay,
but
a rancher, or
he works as a diesel mechanic. So he works on farm equipment. So spring and fall are very, very busy.
Yeah,
and I mean all year is busy.
Yeah.
So our busy seasons with the cows are busy seasons for him at work.
So he is a full-time diesel mechanic.
Yes.
And then in addition to that, he's decided to just own a couple cows.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't my choice. Is
that common in rural North Dakota? You said you weren't from around. You're from South Dakota originally.
Yeah.
When did you married him and then moved up here? Or
13 years ago.
Yeah, and you married him, and he was a diesel mechanic 13 years ago in South Dakota. And then where did the idea of let's live in rural North Dakota?
He worked where he is now, and that's why we moved where we do.
Okay,
that's
it was like a relocation kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you relocate for work. Where do the animals come into it?
He's always had cows, and he wanted cows
in his life. He grew up with them.
I grew up with horses. He grew up with cows, so we have cows.
Okay, and like how many cows?
We have it's around 30 head.
Okay.
Well,
I mean that's okay. So because this is why I didn't get into details, because I was picturing 2 or 3. You got 30.
It's not a lot. We're not big compared to most.
But that's a lot. 30 cows is a lot to me. Okay, that's a lot of cows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture how many acres do you guys have?
Our own property is 7 or 18 acres, but we have pasture land elsewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you've got your land, and then a pasture.
And then we rent pasture elsewhere.
That's a ton of land.
Yeah.
I mean, this is more than just a modest rural. You say your home is not big enough for an office, maybe the homestead itself, but you got a ton of land. I mean,
we don't own the pasture.
Okay, but 18 acres. I'm trying
it's a good chunk.
That's almost like a city block, isn't it? I mean,
I have no idea.
That's got to be more because a typical lot is quarter acre less. So 36 homes on a block. I mean, I got live brain going on. It's hard to, and I'm trying to do math here, but you guys own a whole city block.
Yeah.
You don't even have the cows there. What do you have on your city block?
We do it in the spring and winter.
Oh, okay.
But the summer is the only time that they're gone. They go to pasture.
Okay, I don't know nothing about cows.
Yeah.
I don't.
So they go to pasture and they get bred because we spring calve, so they'll be exposed to the bull all summer.
And then do they also get eaten eventually?
We butcher our own, yes.
Yeah, I don't know anything about cows, so I know this is all second nature to you, but I have no sense of I'm trying to get a rhythm of the life here. So in addition to husband has a full-time job as a diesel mechanic, you're at home juggling kids and 30 cows. You must be taking point on that. I mean, look, I do a lot of.
Sure.
Well, no, I mean, I do. I do consulting with small businesses. I work for the SBA on the Minnesota side. I said that earlier. I work with a lot of business owners. And I myself, I joked I don't have a job. Neither my wife or I have jobs. We're both self-employed, but we're in the city.
Right.
You know what I mean? We run a couple small businesses, some short-term rentals. You know, we have some, just a variety of stuff that we do to make it all come together. So I understand what it's like to work closely with your spouse.
Yep.
And make it all come together. I would have a hard time doing it in addition to a full-time job. Like your husband, I mean, do you see him a lot?
Yeah.
And he's okay, but then when he's home, I mean, somebody's got to be taking care. Or do cows mostly take care of themselves? Is it not?
Generally speaking, they're pretty decent. We still have to go out every night and do our chores, but that's. Now that our kids are getting older, that's our time.
Okay.
So we go out together, do the chores.
With
and
the kids?
No, sometimes the kids do their own thing.
Wow.
They might stay in the house. They might come outside, depending on what the weather's like, and play. But
now your kids like most Gen Alpha, are they like glued to their iPad most of the time?
They don't even have one. No.
You don't allow such things. So you don't do the Zoom calls. You don't allow the iPads. So you may be unaware. So do you sit and scroll? Are you doom scroller? Do you have Facebook?
I'm terrible.
Okay,
yeah.
So you do it, right?
I do. Yeah.
And so you must be aware that people envy your lifestyle.
Yep.
It's very romanticized, and I don't know if I've ever met anybody who's pulling it off like you are. I mean, 30 cows. It's crazy.
It's not my choice to have cows. My husband loves it, so I
think you're blessed to be pulling it off. That's amazing. And then you sell. So if I want a half a cow, can we contract later?
No, sorry, we don't do that.
They're all spoken for, or what?
No, we only raise and butcher our own, and then we sell the calves every fall. So you can purchase the calves from us. We don't finish them out. So it's called finishing them out so that you can butcher them.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We're
under any
that step down. So,
even if I said please?
No.
Okay. All right. And so I don't understand what you do with. So when you kill the cow, it's for your own personal consumption alone.
Yep.
And 30 cows gives you enough to eat just for you. You don't have extras.
Well, we only do one a year. So the rest go to town, go to, we have a couple people that we usually sell our calves to.
Well, the calves, yeah, but what about the cows? So you got 30 cows.
Yeah, no, we breed them every year. So
only one dies every year. I don't know anything about the life cycle of cows. To me, this is the more, I'm sorry, we're running out of time, but I'm fascinated.
Yeah, no.
We could do a whole show on this. Yeah. We bring your husband in. I want to know more about these cows. So.
No, they, I can't remember the oldest one that we have.
I'm just endlessly fascinated. Yeah. Do you have chickens too?
No.
Just cows?
Yeah, just cows.
I mean, I got a buddy who's got 4 chickens in town here.
Yeah.
Totally jealous of him. And my wife is constantly like, no, Conrad, no.
I would like a chicken for our own eggs, but I know how much work they require. And honestly, I don't want
cows are easier than chickens.
No, they're not. They bloat. They have a lot of hoof problems.
Yeah.
You hope that they're all bred, and if they're not, then you have to look at the bull and see why. And
so in the middle of all this, kids go to school, and despite managing 30 cows, you're still having an existential crisis as you're on your deathbed, almost like you're really sick. I imagine, right?
I was.
It was probably COVID. The first time I got COVID,
it was not. It was actually gut-related issues.
Oh, really?
That were not COVID-related.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Okay.
I felt like I couldn't move and survive. So,
yeah. Well, you seem well now.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you got over it.
Yep.
But while you were in the thick of it, you were like, who am I?
Yep. So
what am
I? It opened me up to realize that there's so much more to life at this point. You know, what do I need to do moving forward? I've always loved animals. I was a registered vet tech prior to having kids and marriage.
Oh.
So I've always
worked with animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just a good friend of mine, I was talking to her, and she's like, well, look at other things. I'm like, I don't want to groom, nothing against groomers, but I do not want to groom pets. I don't want to be a sitter. I don't want to. And she goes, no, what did you just do? You went through a spiritual journey, did you not? And I said, yeah. And she goes, so what are our animals? I'm like, oh, okay.
So this was a skill you developed. It wasn't when you were a vet tech, you weren't communicating with the animals?
No, I've always had the ability. We actually all have the ability, but the older that we get, society tells us that it's wrong.
Okay.
So we shut it off.
Yeah.
You don't use it, you lose it. So I had to reopen that up. And I took a class online. I'll be honest. I took a class online and to get started. And then as soon as I got going, then I took it in the direction that I do now. So I just used her to help me start. And then I was like,
you took their template and you run with it. When you started to do it, I mean, were you the one who had to get over the objections? Were you the one who had to convince yourself?
No.
Or you bought in day one? So tell me more about this friend. Yeah, I want to know. We've got maybe 5 more minutes left, but I want to know about this friend and how they said it to you, because it sounds like they're the one who helped you conceive the idea.
She did, because she does energy spiritual work herself.
Yeah.
And she's
you
the one
drop a name?
That Brittany Herlichka is her name.
And where's she out of?
She's out of Lidwood.
Okay. Is that a town?
It is. It's south of me.
Okay. Yeah.
She does have a name, and I'm drawing a blank right now.
So she must be like right on the, because again, it's helpful to paint the picture of like, when you think of, people think like, oh yeah, there's a animal communicator out in rural North Dakota with 30 cows. Like that helps to paint the picture. So she's like on the border of North Dakota, South Dakota. But is she technically South Dakota? She's
North Dakota.
Okay, and you met her.
I don't know. I think I had her on Facebook.
But you run into all kinds of people.
Yep,
you run into all kinds of people.
I had her on Facebook, and I was so mentally in my own head, and I had just seen her post, and I was like, hey, I think I need your help. And so
you reached out to her.
Yeah, so I reached out to her, and I told her what was going on, and she started that journey for me and helped me get going on that. And she was the one that I was like, I'm like lost. I don't know, because she has kids around the same age, so I was like, I'm lost at what to do with myself at this point. And she was like, well, we have options, you know. So I credit her for getting me mentally back on track.
Yeah.
And opening up my abilities and like looking at the bigger picture than just.
Did you end up compensating her for her time? Does that something?
I did. Some of it.
Did she say, I'm going to mentor you, but you're going to pay me X dollars? Is that kind of how it happened when you reached out to her?
At first, I think it was like, how can you help me, and what are your prices?
Yeah.
Because I don't care at this point. I need something.
You started with the prices. Yeah.
Yep. That's how I am. I ask you how much, so I know what I'm getting into.
Do you mind sharing like how much you invested in her? Like
I honestly don't remember at this point.
I'm just trying to paint the picture of like, and I'm not like I'll again. You tell me your name. You know your face. Yep. I'll forget that. You tell me a price of something. Burned into my mind forever. Like I'm just crazy that way. But okay, what was the first? And again, we're running up against it because those cows were so endlessly fascinating to me. What was the first customer you had? Like, did you to get into it? Did you just start training yourself on your own? You were like, hey, I got 30 cows here. Let's train. Like, were you in the wilderness training, or how did you begin?
I used my family's pets.
Yeah.
Because I knew them, but I didn't know them enough because I'm not.
So in addition to the cows, you do have pets in your house.
I do. Yeah. I do. I have 2 dogs, but I can't work with my own dogs.
Yeah.
I cannot work with my own dogs. They like refuse. So I have to ask a friend. But so I started asking family, and I've asked some really close friends that I knew that wouldn't think I was weird. And then once I got out of that mind frame of like, this is so weird and just unusual, then I was able to just be like, well, you take it as it is. You either agree with it and want to move forward with it, or I can answer your questions and you just make up your own mind. Like I don't have any reservations anymore on that. It doesn't hold me back. I'm just like, well, I'm here if you need me. So
that's amazing.
But, yeah.
And so what was the first, do you remember the very first person who actually paid you to do the work? Do you remember?
I don't.
That had to be so nerve-wracking. Like, did you have, I know, like, every time I start a new business, the very first time somebody gives me money, I'm like, is it okay that I, like imposter syndrome, right? Like that had to be hard to get over.
It took a while to get over it, but once you start having those people saying like, you're not charging enough, or here's this for your time. And I'm like, no, I don't need it. And they're like, yes, you do, because you do not realize what you just did for me and my animal.
When I think that's how you know you've come on to some place you belong. When you start to do something professionally and you're like, I don't know, this is all I got. And they're like, this is amazing. Yeah. And then you realize, oh, oh, I have something special here.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something special about me.
Yep.
And that's, I think there's definitely something special about you, Nikki. That is got to be the show. I think that's where we got to end it here with just how special you are. So why don't you go ahead? You didn't give us a song, so we're just going to listen to my music on the way out.
Okay.
That's fine. Hey, I got music I want to listen to, as long as you're not coming with country music. I'm happy. Why don't you plug yourself? Tell everybody if they want to get a hold of you, they want to find you, how would they find you?
All right. So I do have a Facebook page. It's Vibrant Animals with Nikki. Or you can always reach out at my phone number, which is 612-749-3049. You can call, text, whatever, and then I'll reach back out to you and we'll start from there.
Amazing. And of course, I'm Conrad Fargo. You can find me anywhere you can type Conrad in Fargo. I know, you said you're not big into tech. There's a small website, maybe you've heard of it, Amazon.com.
Yeah.
You ever been there?
Yes.
If you type in Conrad, Hotel Conrad memorabilia comes up. If you type in Fargo, the TV show, you ever seen the TV show Fargo?
No.
Oh, it's excellent. It's excellent. We could be associated with worse things. The Coen Brothers are geniuses. Okay, so that'll come up. But if you type in Conrad and Fargo, you can listen right there, right on Amazon. Of course, we're on Spotify and we're everywhere. But anywhere you can type in Conrad in Fargo, we're there. So please like, share, and subscribe. Nikki, thank you very, very, very much for coming here. Thank you, Jessie Fike, for sending her our way. This has been a great one. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We're going to listen to Apashe and Vladimir Cauchemar. They did a song R.I.P. I like that song. I like Apashe. I don't know if it's Apashe. I don't know. Yep. We're going to listen to that, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.